Okay, 6.3 is very similar to 6.2. It deals with sine and cosine. The difference is, and now it's going to even get translated horizontally and vertically. Okay, so the h will move it vertically. And the c, this is the tricky part because a lot of, with parabolas and everywhere, if it's a positive, it moves to the left. If it's a negative, it moves to the right. But it moves side to side, not just c. C divided by k. So we'll just go over about 3 examples and hopefully you understand how to do this. So very tedious assignment today. So let's just go through these 3 templates. So what you're going to do is you're going to bubble in this part right here. And you're going to do what you did in 6.2. You're going to do exactly what you did in 6.2 because this problem is 6.2 without the plus pi. So you're going to put 5 slashes, including right there. Remember in 6.2 that was the period. 2 pi divided by the k, and the k is the 2. So pi is your period, pi over 2, pi over 4, and so on. You're going to go up 3, and you're going to go down 3. So this is just a good review of 6.2. Okay, and now what you're going to do is sine starts at 0, it goes up to 3, it goes back down, it goes back down, and it goes back up. Do not connect them because that is not the answer. All of these dots are going to get translated side to side. A positive means you're going to move everything to the left. And this is the kicker for trigonometry. It looks like everything's going to go to the left pi, but the formula is c divided by k for the phase shift left to left. So what's the c and what's the k? The c is here, and the k is here, so you have to do c divided by k, which you've never done this before. So the c in this problem is pi, and the k in this problem is 2. So you're going to move everything to the left, pi divided by 2. And what does pi divided by 2 stand for? It stands for 2 slots. So you have to move everything to the left 2 slots. And I'm going to change my color. This dot right here, this one right here, gets moved to the left too. So now it's here. This one right here gets moved to the left too. So it's now right here. This dot right here gets moved to the left too, which is right here. This dot right here gets moved to the left, which is right here, and the last one right here. Your final answer looks like this. Everything got moved to the left. So the final answer is this whole equation. And that's the only difference from 6.2 and 6.3. Let's do another one. Was the first one cosine? The first one was sine. So this one's going to be cosine. Same identical thing. Today you're going to just bubble in what you would have done in 6.2. So you're going to do that first. So all you're going to do is make a graph. Put 5 slashes. Remember that this stands for the period. You're going to go up 2 and you're going to go down 2 because of that. I'm going a little fast because we already had this all in 6.2. In order to figure out the period, it's 2 pi divided by the k, and the k in this problem is 1/3. So the last slash is 6 pi. I don't think we've ever had a 6 pi. Half of 6 pi is 3 pi, and half of 3 pi is 3 pi over 2, and so on. You're going to graph that one, and cosine starts at 2, it comes down, it goes down, comes back up, and goes back up. Now you're not going to sit and connect them because that's not the answer to the problem. There's a negative sign in the problem, which means you're going to shift it to the right. But how much do you shift it to the right? Some of you will shift it to the right pi, but that's the wrong formula. It's pi divided by 1/3. It's the c value divided by the k value, which ends up being 3 pi. And it just so happens in the same problem that 3 pi stands for 2 spaces. If you look at 3 pi, it stands for 2 places. So everything gets shifted to the right 2 instead of to the left 2. So here's my first dot. I'm making it bigger, and I'm moving it to the right 2, so it's here. The next one gets moved over to here. The next one gets moved over to here. The next one gets moved over to here. And the last one gets moved over to here. And this is your final answer. Sometimes you have to move it over 2 places, sometimes 1 place. It all depends on what it stands for on your grid. So, okay, last problem of the notes is this one. This one has a horizontal shift and it also has a vertical shift. Notice that this is the first time that there's a number at the end. Just like on the first page, there's a number at the end, and that's going to move it up or down or vertically. So let's do this one. How do you do a vertical one? So I'll go nice and slow. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to bubble in what we would have done in 6.2 and make that graph. You're going to go up 4, and you're going to go down 4. And 2 pi divided by k is the period, and it's 2 pi divided by a half, which ends up being 4 pi for my last slash. This is 2 pi, this is 1 pi, this is 3 pi. And I'm going to graph that. Cosine has a negative sign. It starts at a negative 4. It's going to come up, it's going to come up, it's going to go down, and it's going to go down. So that's the red one. But now you are going to shift everything. You're going to shift everything to the left. C divided by k, pi divided by a half, which is equal to 2 pi. So 2 to the left. And you're also going to move everything down 3. Every dot gets moved 2 to the left and down 3. 2 to the left and down 3. So I'm going to add some extra slashes. 2 to the left and down 3 puts this dot right there. 2 to the left and down 3 puts that dot right there. 2 to the left and down 3 puts that one. 2 to the left, down 3, and 2 to the left, down 3. This is the answer to this one. And just like this one has an X, you should probably put that in there so you know you went up 4 and you went down 4. So final answer. You can always watch this video again, but that's the whole concept, is just moving the dots over, either side by side or up and down.